What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the North Shore 9 Postgame Show, powered by Primanti Brothers. For the first time in 10 games, Doug, we get to raise the Jolly Roger. Pirates win 5-3 over the Seattle Mariners. That means we're giving away sandwiches for the first time in what feels like 2 weeks. So you guys know the drill. Hashtag raise it in the comments. But Doug, finally, off the schneid.
Hey, it's a win. I don't think it means anything, but it's a win. And we desperately needed a win. And, of course, it was Paul Skenes to deliver it. So we'll take it every time. We needed it.
You said it. They needed this win. Not only did the team need this win, but, like, we needed this win. And when I mean we, I mean, like, we doing this postgame show. We've been talking about just an awful baseball team now for about 2 weeks. It's not fun. It's not fun when this team is in a skid like that. All of you in the chat, you all deserve this too. Like we deserved a win, and it was nice to get one tonight. So we'll break it down for you. We'll go into everything. Again, put your hashtag raise it in the comments for your chance to win 2 free Primanti Brothers sandwiches. But before we do, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kickoff, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. All right, let's just pick this one up from the beginning. I mean, going into today's game, you're dealing with two teams that have obviously pretty big offensive issues here with the Pirates and the Mariners. Last night on NS9 Live, I brought up the Mariners have actually scored, I think it was 18 less runs than the Pirates up to this point in the season, which is mind-boggling to me that a team that's above 500 has scored less than the Pirates. But that's where we are. But it was a hell of a pitching matchup. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better pitching matchup today. Logan Gilbert going for the Mariners. Their young stud ace, he came into today with an ERA well under 3. Paul Skenes going for the Pirates, who, has had his 2 worst starts of his career, coming off of that. So he's looking to get back on track. But I think I was really looking forward to a fun pitching matchup today.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it set up nicely. Gilbert has been really good this year. It was fun to see what he could do. And I wanted to see Skenes bounce back a little. He still wasn't great, but it was a quality start. The classic put us in position to win the game. It sort of followed the script. It was, we got 6 innings from our starter. And the bullpen basically did the job, right? It gave us a little scare. I don't think anybody, any team, any fan base ever needed a 2-out, 2-run scoring double in the history of the game. We needed that when it was 3-2. None of us were feeling very good about what was coming next. And man, did we need that. I don't know how badly O'Neal Cruz is hurt, but boy, God, that's the most needed hit in history of the Pirates, I think.
We'll get to that because I feel like this game ended the 10-game losing streak. There were some big hits, some timely hits, but the Pirates paid a price today in today's game. Both Andrew McCutchen and O'Neal Cruz left in the 8th inning with leg injuries. Andrew McCutchen, his knee, O'Neal Cruz, his ankle, both being evaluated. Both like non-contact type injuries. Hearing that it was Cruz's ankle is a little bit, is a little bit more. I guess it makes me less uneasy than a knee. At first, when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, that has the potential to be bad." But I think he just tweaked that ankle. Andrew McCutchen, though, yeah, like how serious is this? There's not that much time left. Like if Andrew McCutchen is seriously hurt, I'm hoping we aren't talking about the last game of Andrew McCutchen's career here. So we'll get to all of that. But I do want to spend some time actually talking about Paul Skenes today because his command was off, but I feel like the stuff still looked pretty darn good. Fastball velocity was a tiny bit down. It was down a tick from his season average. But what he did today, that I hadn't seen him do quite yet, was really flash that curveball, specifically against lefties down and in. And it was on today. He generated 8 swings and misses on that curveball. 8 swings, 4 swings and misses, a 50% whiff rate, 10 swings and misses total today. He strikes out 6 over 6 innings, gives up just 3 hits, the 4 walks. Like I said, that's where the command issue comes in. He really only had one mistake, and that was the pitch he left right over the middle to Luke Raley. So 97-mile-an-hour fastball was not a good pitch, and it came right after one of those walks. But outside that, I said velocity was a little down, but I thought he looked pretty good. You there, Doug? Doug, are you there? I think we may have lost Doug. So while we're waiting for Doug to come back, I'll kind of talk about Paul Skenes a little bit more here. 45 four-seam fastballs, again, average velocity down 1 mile an hour. He was throwing some 96s and 97s today that I don't think we're used to really seeing a whole lot of. So that was a little concerning. And like I said, the command was a little off, but overall, I thought it was a pretty good start for him. And like I said, I want to kind of talk about the splinker itself. He wasn't throwing it a whole lot today. And when he did, it got hit. He only generated 1 swing and miss on that splinker today. But the curveball was what impressed me. Like I said, specifically against lefties. I thought he did a really good job locating it down and in. I thought he did a really good job using that as kind of his out pitch, and he was able to like that was the pitch that he was using today to get out of jams, to finish hitters. Are you back, Doug?
I'm back.
All right. Paul Skenes, like I said, we talked about the curveball. I thought today was the first time we saw it. He threw it 20 times. I don't recall him doing that
he was
in any of the starts.
No, he was dependent, and it's kind of what gets you so excited about him, right? I mean, it's a pitch he doesn't use that much, and hey, he didn't have control with this, so let me use the curveball for swing and miss stuff today. He's got such a great arsenal. He's a complete pitcher, and he's 14, 15 starts into his major league career. It's just unbelievable. And again, even when he not have his best control or his best stuff, he goes to another pitch and says, all right, I can't spot this, so you can't hit this. And it's just great to see. He's really, I mean, we don't know how good we have it. And I mean, I've been watching baseball and Pirate baseball for an awfully long time, and I haven't seen anything like this.
Well, I think what's impressive is like he just turned 22. And like the ability to pitch, like he's not a thrower, and I think that's what makes him so special, right? Like a lot of guys come out of college and they've got really good stuff, right? But Paul Skenes is different in that, yeah, he has really good stuff, but the guy knows how to pitch. Like I said, he's locating the fastball, he's locating the curveball when one pitch isn't on, the other pitch is, and he's got a big enough arsenal that he can use 2 pitches or so every night out there and get by. When he's got more than 2 pitches on, watch out. He's basically unhittable. But when he has 2 pitches going,
right,
he looks like he did today, which is a quality start. It's just impressive every time out.
Right.
He's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, the other team, when they're having their pregame meeting, the hitters are going over. You can't say, okay, when he gets 3-2 to a left-handed, he's going to do this, right? No. He's not predictable. He's like you said, I mean, we've seen guys come up with great stuff. Diamond does it every year, all the time throughout the history of the game, but they can't control it. And there's, again, we say for the first 5 years of the he's a thrower. He needs to become a pitcher. This kid's been a pitcher since, the first innings, and then he threw at Altoona or what have you.
Yeah.
It's really, really, again, what sets him apart and what makes him special. He said he's 22 years old. And he's pitching like, he's got 100 starts under his belt, 1,000 innings. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah. First time I saw him pitch, that was actually that's what jumped out to me more than anything. It was in Bradenton. I think it was his second or third start of his career. I had to go down to Florida for work. So I was like, you know what, I'll head down a day early so I can see Paul Skenes pitch. And the thing that stood out, it wasn't the stuff. It was like the ability to keep hitters off balance and the ability to locate his pitches whenever he needed to, like just being able to do that at his age. It's impressive. Like I said, that it's hard to come up with adjectives to describe Paul Skenes because he's been pretty incredible throughout his short major league career. But I think just very impressive is really the best way to put it. So, but he outdueled Logan Gilbert.
Yeah, I mean, we're just right. I mean, we're going to have to get used to somewhat underselling him, right? Because every start that we could go, there's just not enough superlatives, not enough adjectives for us to come up with something new. We just say he's really, really good, and we're really, really lucky to have him. So,
yep, it's a good way to put it. So yeah, he outduels Logan Gilbert, picks up the win. He goes to 7-2 on his young career. But let's talk about how this game started to unfold. So first 3 innings, not a lot going on. I think each team picked up just 1 hit over the first 3 innings. But then the Mariners did get on the board with the 2-run homer by Luke Raley to go up 2-0 in the 4th. But then the Pirates came right back and answered in the bottom half. Brian Reynolds started off the inning with a walk. And then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with a double into the corner in left field, scoring Reynolds. So getting the Pirates on the board. I'll say this about Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. The numbers I feel like don't do him justice for how good he's played since coming over. And maybe it's just because like we've seen him in nothing but losses. But so far he's just like that spark plug that we've needed. The double, he lays down a bunt later in the game, just kind of causes havoc, that throws the ball away. He ends up getting to second. So again, the line for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa through his first, 10 or so games with the Pirates isn't all that impressive. But I like what I see out of the guy.
Yeah, I agree. He appears to be a winning baseball player, right? He like I said, he stirs things up. He makes stuff happen. He makes stuff happen when we need it to happen, and we've really not had that for quite a while. And you're right. The numbers haven't been stellar or anything, but it seems like he has a positive impact on every game he plays. He does something every game that's like, oh, that was it's a smart base running play. It's a fundamental, it's backing up a play that someone else wouldn't necessarily back up. It's just that stuff that separates, plays, and again, it's that stuff that we just have not had in the past, 5 years at least.
Yeah, I mean, going into today, it was 11 games. 239, 286, 370. Like nothing about that line stands out to you. It's an 80 weighted runs created plus in a very small sample size. But he's been playing good defense. He's been running the bases. He's had 3 stolen bases up to this point. He's just he looks like a professional ball player. He's somebody when we acquired him,
right.
The thing that I said was like, this is a player that good teams just have on their team. Like is a guy like this. And that he just kind of just looks more and more like that every day. Like he's just one of those guys that good teams have. Now I'm not calling the Pirates a good team. We just lost 10 in a row. But like if you want to look forward to like next year, right?
But to become
Isaiah,
one, right?
yeah. If
to
we're
become
looking
a
forward
good team, right? They need guys like him.
Yep. If we're looking forward to next year, like give me a whole team of IKFs. Really, I'll go to battle with that.
Yeah.
But like he's a guy I want on my team next year.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. He has been the exact kind of player the Pirates have been missing for a long time. He gets walked and he steals second and third, right? He's knowing how desperate we need a win, knowing how we need runs, right? It just seems he's so aware of what the situation is and performs, appropriately to the situation. It's been a while since we've had that. He's got a little J-Hay in him kind of thing, that spark.
But yeah,
he's never going to be the best player on the team, but he's going to make a lot of the best plays in the game. Right.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Like almost like that, like prime J-Hay from back in like the mid 2010s. Yeah. He's just a guy you want on your team. He puts the ball in play. He puts pressure on the other teams with his base running. He's a good fielder. He can play multiple positions. Like I'm happy he's on the team. It was a really good acquisition. So the Pirates get on the board there in the fourth. Yeah, Pirates get on the board there in the fourth with the IKF double. Skenes follows that up with a scoreless fifth, 1-2-3. He got a lot more efficient the later he went in the game. So we head to the bottom of the fifth, and again, Pirates still down 1. But Yasmani Grandal, and we've given our fair share of criticism to Yaz. I'll say this about Yaz. So he hits one 404 feet off of Logan Gilbert, just an absolute no doubter to right center field, crushes it, ties the game, his 5th home run of the year. For a guy who I wish he homered more, Doug, because Yasmani Grandal, the bat flip, the bat drop, every time he homers, he just looks really cool doing it. And I'd love to see more of it.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was a more consistent, occurrence. I don't know. Every time he does something good, I think, who would Neil prefer to be off the roster more, Yasmani Grandal or Ryan De La Cruz? So it's just like, he can't catch. He can't do anything, but he occasionally hits a home run. He occasionally. It's you take it. We need it. I don't care. We needed it tonight. I'm glad we got it. I don't believe that if Joey Bart catches Paul Skenes is going to be dramatically worse. I don't believe that for a second. But the Pirates stick to the full. It's either Longfellow or one of those poets. It says a foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of a simple mind, and that starting him every time with Skenes is a foolish consistency. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it makes a difference. But we do what we do. Pirates got a pirate. So, and our front office and manager, they stick to these things. And today it worked. Today it worked. Right, we got the win. He contributed. I get the feeling we're stuck with him for the rest of the year.
It's definitely a possibility there. Yeah, someone brings up here, a couple people have, but like Yasmani Grandal in Paul Skenes starts just somehow seems to rake. I don't have the exact numbers here. Someone tweeted out. I think it was, a couple starts ago. He had an OPS over 900 in Paul Skenes starts. So I'm sure it's still somewhere in that territory today. But yeah, sure. the guy comes through at the plate. I mean, again, his numbers for the season are bad, but there's a weird phenomena there where he hits when Skenes is starting. So it's pretty. Hey, you know what? If that's going to be a thing, whatever, that could be his thing. I'd prefer he's good, more often than not. But if he's going to be good in Skenes starts, I guess start him in Skenes starts for if he has to be on this team. Sure. So Grandal, so Grandal ties it up. And it was the bottom of the order doing it here in the 5th inning. So Grandal, number 8 hitter, homers. Michael A. Taylor then follows that up with a base hit. And then again, just putting pressure on the other team. Taylor steals second. He moves to third on a throwing error by Cal Raleigh. So now you've got a runner on third, 1 out. Andrew McCutchen brings him in with a sacrifice fly. It wasn't really hit all that far, but Michael A. Taylor able to beat the throw with his speed. Pirates take a 3-2 lead, and they don't really look back. Brian Reynolds reaches on an error that inning. O'Neal Cruz lines out, but they come out of that 5th inning with the lead. Paul Skenes pitches a scoreless 6th to finish his night up. And then in the 7th, when you are thinking, all right, here's the nitty gritty time. Pirates are up 3-2 heading into the 7th. Starters out. You mentioned like this game followed the script. The script has typically been for wins throughout this year. Starter goes 6 innings, and then you have Holderman, Chapman, Bednar. Well, Holderman's on the IL. Chapman's been pitching well, and David Bednar has been terrible lately. So we're like, all right, we're ready to be hurt again.
But scored upon in 6 straight outings.
Yeah. So 7th inning comes up. Kyle Nicholas comes in, and I can't say enough good things about Kyle Nicholas. Jason Mackey tweeted out after his performance today, 1-2-3 7th inning. In his last 21 games, Doug, Kyle Nicholas has pitched 24 innings. He's given up just 2 runs. Only 9 walks, too. Like, that was his issue, was just walking people all the time. If you've got the stuff that he has, and you can walk 9 batters in 24 innings, but he has been outstanding. Like all the criticism we've given to the bullpen, it hasn't been because of Kyle Nicholas.
Yeah, when we discussed him last year, we'd say he's got great stuff, but he has no idea where's the ball going. He just, he let it go, and who knows what was going to happen. He had the rough start to the season, but man, since then, I mean, he's really, really grown. It has really developed some consistency. I mean, he can definitely be a weapon, in the later stages of games with this bullpen. And I mean, right now, I feel more comfortable when he comes in than certainly when Holderman was coming in, and Bednar as well. I mean, that can change with 2 good outings, but I mean, it's right now, he is relief. Right. I feel very comfortable. He's not a perfect pitcher. He's not flawless. Nobody is, but he has been, the last couple months, one of the better pitchers in our bullpen.
Yep.
More reliable.
Yeah. He's been just outstanding. 3-2 game. You still want some sort of insurance though, right?
Because I hope the new general manager keeps him.
Yeah, we've seen this just time and time again. 1-run leads late in games. They need more, right? So bottom of the 7th, Michael A. Taylor again, walking with 1 out in the 7th. Andrew McCutchen hits one down the line. Probably would have normally been a double, but it's a single because about 3/4 of the way to first base, you can see that he kind of starts grimacing. He's out. Pirates announced that it's a knee injury. It's further evaluation, but it was knee discomfort. So Andrew McCutchen, big hit there to kind of move Taylor over to third, but he leaves the game. Ji-Wan Bae comes in, and then Brian Reynolds strikes out. So it's like, oh man, here we go again. First and third, 1 out. Right. Brian Reynolds, your best hitter. He doesn't come through.
You have to get that run in. That was bad job on him. You've got to get that run in. I don't care if it's a sac fly, whatever. And that was not good. Thankfully, the next guy comes up. Right?
There you go. Thankfully, O'Neal Cruz comes up, delivers a 2-run, 2-out double. He's just been coming up with big hits lately, even during this losing streak. But big 2-out double there for O'Neal Cruz to extend the Pirates' lead, make it 5-2. But again, for the second time in 3 at-bats, Cruz is rounding second. He puts the brakes on, goes back to second, and when he puts those brakes on, you can tell he's hurt. grimaces. And the Pirates announced it's an ankle. It's the same ankle that's been giving him issues. So he now comes out of the game. Triolo goes in for him. So you've now lost Andrew McCutchen. You've lost O'Neal Cruz due to injuries in the 7th. But you do get 2 pretty big insurance runs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever felt more relieved, right? I mean, it was just, because you just knew, and right, I felt really good about Chapman coming in, but I did not want to see Bednar out there with a 1-run lead. I mean, it really, I would have been mad had Shelton brought him in with just a 1-run lead, right? He's not ready for that situation right now. I don't trust him. I don't think he trusts himself. So those were big insurance runs, and like I said, I don't think I've ever thought, wow, did we need those more than any time in quite a while of watching Pirate baseball.
Yeah. Listen, ankle injury, so you're hoping it's just a tweak. Kutch, knee, could be maybe more. He's been having issues with his knee for a while, so hopefully he's hopefully he avoids the IL. But you got to think if he has to go on the IL, you do have maybe Billy Cook down there to maybe he's the next guy up. I'm not sure. Brian, a couple people have asked who comes up
you
if
got
one of them
Davis
needs
and
IL.
Cook, who are right.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I mean, you got some guys that are hitting.
At some point, you gotta bring up Billy Cook and or Nick York. So like if this is the time for it, then I think that's the time for it. But yeah, I think those are your 2 guys who you just want to see. I mean, you're 7 games under 500. The playoffs aren't a thing. Right. See what you've got going into next year with those 2, because it's possible that one of those guys is an answer for you, right? And the way you find that out is here towards the end of the year.
Not at Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
I don't care what they do down there; it doesn't matter.
Yep. So Pirates take that 5-2 lead into the 8th. Aroldis Chapman with a scoreless 8th inning. Strikeout, pass ball, double play, ground out. Just a weird way to get a 1-2-3 inning, I guess. But he gets it nonetheless. Pirates go down scoreless in the bottom of the 8th, and so then you go 3-run lead.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah.
Would you have considered? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you have considered bringing Bednar in the 8th? Because it was righty switch hitter, and then lefty, lefty, lefty. It just seems to me, and again, when Shelton was hired, we're going, it won't necessarily be a closer. We're going to go with matchups. I mean, the matchups there would have dictated bringing Bednar in the 8th and Chapman in the 9th, and not just the matchups, but performance lately too. So, got the win. He did he did the right thing. Blah blah blah. It worked out fine. But I would have switched those 2 guys. I was just wondering what you thought about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have. And then I think it just depends on like what are you gonna do? Because if you do that, like I mean, matchups, whatever they are, David Bednar has been your closer for 4 years, right? Like he's been your closer for 4 years. If you pitch David Bednar in the 8th inning right there, is he your closer still? I mean, at that point, you're like, you know what? We're going to a bullpen by committee for the rest of the year. You haven't had, and hey, it's probably justified at this point. Like David Bednar has not looked good. No, I wouldn't have done it. David Bednar is my closer until he's not for the foreseeable future. You still have him next year. Like, David Bednar is my closer. So to answer your question, I would not have done that. And with the 3-run lead,
all right.
I'm just going.
I get the mental, what the message you would have sent to him. I mean, I understand that there are as many reasons to bring him out just like you did as there are to switch it around. So, I'm not hardcore on that. It just struck me as, something, if you were, I guess really, really, really managing to win this game type thing or what have you. But there's more to it than just tonight. But it worked out, so no complaints.
Yeah, I think I would have done the same thing. I would have done Chapman, Bednar. That's how I would have done it. So yeah, Chapman gets the scoreless eighth. David Bednar comes in. What does he do? First batter, home run. So then you're like, oh man, here we go again. Here we go again. And it wasn't. I mean, it was Jorge Polanco he's been struggling quite a bit this year. That was his 12th homer, but I mean, Jorge Polanco has a 664 OPS this season. You know, he's put up some good seasons recently, but he hasn't been good this year. But he takes Bednar deep, first batter.
Right.
Then Luke Raley gets on with a base hit. So tying runs up to bat now with no outs in the ninth. But Bednar's able to get out of it. He strikes out the next three batters. Like he goes homer, single, strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. Which is if you're looking to bounce back from homer, single, it doesn't get much better than that.
Right. Yeah, he finished strong.
Yep.
As usual, he scared the crap out of us in the process, but whatever, maybe this is the thing that'll get him back on track. I certainly hope so, because we could use I mean, again, I understand playoffs and stuff are gone, done, over, but you still want to finish. You don't want to just be in this terrible collapse the rest of the season. We still have a long way to go. We still have a lot of shows to do. Let's get Bednar back to where we can count on him again.
Yeah, so it was good to see him finish that off. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. His 21st save of the season. Yeah, and Pirates, like I said, they needed a win. So it's nice to come home in front of the fairly decent crowd. I didn't see the attendance numbers. 27,058. Not like the best Friday night crowd ever for a Paul Skenes start, but decent enough crowd. So you send them home happy.
Understandable, right?
Oh yeah, I mean after 10 losses, who wants to go see the team, right? Yeah. So they send them home happy. 5-3 win. They're now 57-64 on the season. Playoff odds maybe up from 0.5% to like 0.6 or 0.7. So hey, you're telling me there's a chance, Doug. Telling me there's a chance.
There's still a chance, right? Yeah,
but
10-game winning streak turns it right around.
But hey, it's been done before. If they go on some like magical Oakland A's run, we'll be talking about last night's NS9 live. Right. Like it'll be on Old Takes Exposed, where we're just saying to fire everybody.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. When we go over your worst takes of the year, right? Those.
Yep. That's gonna be the highlight.
Last night's show.
That's gonna be the highlight. All right. So it's about the time of the show we give away some sandwiches, Doug. How do we do that? If you haven't yet, be like Mike right here.
Wait. Hashtag... We give away sandwiches? What?
Yeah, I know.
Since when?
Yeah, I almost forget how to do this. But if you're like Mike here, hashtag raise it in the comments. We've got 77 entries into the sandwich giveaway right now. So hashtag raise it. We're about to give that away. I'm going to give you all just a couple seconds while I give you some moments.
And I mean, we know for sure I have not won in a long time.
I think you were
I entered in, and yes, again. Like I said, I have not at least won in 10 days.
Yeah. So get those hashtag raise it's in there. While you're doing that, make sure you hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you are watching on TikTok, we appreciate you guys. If you're listening to the podcast after this, I'm happy that you were finally able to listen to a post-game show with a win, where we're actually in a good mood. So appreciate everybody in the comments. Appreciate everybody on YouTube. Appreciate everybody on the podcast. We are at 81 entries. Let's go ahead and pick out a winner. Good luck, everybody.
Spin that wheel.
Who's it gonna be? All right. First sandwich in 10 games goes to Matt P. Matt P. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Matt.
Congrats. DM us on any social media platform, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, whatever you use. We'll get you your sandwiches out to you, or you can email us at northshore9@gmail.com. But congratulations, Matt P. There you go. He's excited. 2 free sandwiches. Good stuff. All right. Doug, you got anything to add before we get out of here?
Hey, we got to win. Let's embrace it and hope it's the start of better baseball.
Let's hope so. All right, guys. We appreciate everybody. Pirates win 5-3. We'll be back tomorrow with another post-game show, hopefully talking about a 2-game winning streak. But other than that, I'm Jim. This is Doug. We'll catch you later.
Let's go, Bucks.
See you guys.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.